Welcome back, viewers at home. You're still joining us right here on INX Prime Channel 345, and we're about to talk to an amazing guest around something that is quite unfortunate, and I think it will share light in terms of us staying the course when it comes to all things solidarity with Palestine. And this evening I am joined by the Al-Azhar Masjid Pro Ighsaan Higgins and the the Al-Azhar Masjid has recently been threatened with a bombing and a harm to its congregants. In apparent responses to pro-Palestine stance, in the face of these threats, the Masjid has reaffirmed its commitment to the Palestinian cause and urged all Muslims to remain vigilant. Despite this chilling message, the Masjid remains steadfast in its solidarity with the Palestinian people. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much for joining us this evening.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you as well and to the viewers.
Now, I know that the intention of our conversation is just to find out more around, the bomb threat. But I think it's quite important for us to really build that understanding in terms of understanding the masjid itself, in terms of its history, as well as its significance within the Muslim community. Inshallah, if you're able to just give us a bit of that brief regarding its history as well as significance within the community in Cape Town.
Well, firstly, the Al-Azhar Masjid is the second oldest masjid in Cape Town. Well, you could possibly say second oldest in South Africa. It's also named after the Al-Azhar Masjid in Cairo, which has a history of scholarship. It's one of the oldest universities in the world. And of course, the Al-Azhar Masjid in District 6, we are continuing in that vein. It's known for scholarship, it's known for activism, it's known for social justice. And during apartheid, the late Sheikh Shakir Hamildin was the imam at that particular mosque, at the Al-Azhar Mosque. And he managed to navigate a community that was in crisis. District 6 was actually it was declared a white area in 1966. And then for the next 20 years, between 1966 and 1986, about 80,000 people were moved out of District 6. And of course, the Al-Azhar Mosque and the other mosques in the area, there's two other mosques in the area, and there's a few churches. These were places, that actually navigated this hardship that the community actually experienced whilst being evicted from District 6 for over a period of 20 years. So the Al-Azhar Masjid comes with a very, very strong history of activism and social justice.
Subhanallah. I have to say it is quite beautiful seeing a masjid boldly displaying the beautiful flag of, Palestine, and just seeing how, it is really entrenched in that belief of, staying the cause in that sense. But just moving forward to now the bomb threat in question. Seeing the news that we are, in terms of consuming for updating ourselves regarding what's happening in Palestine, the bombings and the aftermath of it, now coming back here in South Africa or being here in South Africa, receiving that threat to potentially be bombed, what would you say was your reaction? And also, how did you then, or rather, how did the committee as well receive this message, and how are they also planning on responding to it?
The message was received by our Sheikh Ismail Kiran and one of our members, Brother Badir Hamildin. It was sent to both of them on Sunday afternoon. And it read something. It was sent in Arabic, and it emanated from the USA in Florida. That's where the number is from. And it said, "God willing, your mosque will explode." I mean, that's a very, very, I can't explain. It's chilling listening. I mean, when one saw it. And of course, we immediately, realized that this is a serious threat, and we'll treat it as such. And of course, we immediately reported it to the South African police, and it was escalated to the Hawks. And of course, we have been engaging with the Hawks on this issue. They, in turn, will also be engaging with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which is the FBI in the USA, seeing that the threat came from Miami in Florida. And of course, we will now await results from that interaction.
I'm really praying that, the investigation really succeeds in finding the guilty culprit in this instance and really faces justice in that sense. And we hope that justice is served and an example is made by using him. But just moving forward to like our conversation tonight, how have the recent threats impacted the sense of safety as well as emotional well-being among worshippers at the mosque and the wider Muslim community in Cape Town?
Well, firstly, it's never a nice thing to have a threat. Especially a place of worship. You have children coming to madrasa, you have ladies' classes, you have elderly gentlemen who's already lived through the trauma of apartheid, of colonialism in a very, very ugly form. So here you have threat, to the safety of the congregants. We're obviously taking it very serious, and of course, the safety of our congregants, it's paramount. So we have put mechanisms in place. We have engaged the South African Police Services. We have engaged the law enforcement of the city. We are also in the process of talking to private security companies and members of other masjids in the Western Cape, because all the masjids now say, no, we are in this together. We need to protect our brothers, and of course they've also come to the table. And I do believe we're going to have proper protocols and mechanisms in place to make sure that we won't be 100% safe. But of course, we're going to put measures in place to make sure that there's proper vigilance and proper security measures in place to make the task of those who want to harm us a lot more difficult.
Now, in the face of security concern, would you say that there is a way or balance is attainable in terms of, protecting the safety of the masjid's congregants with the desire to continue supporting the Palestinian cause?
The Palestinian cause is a cause that's close to the hearts of all South Africans. And as a result of that, our government has taken this matter to the ICJ. But beyond that, as a Muslim, it is an amana. When harm befalls another Muslim, it is an amana to support those Muslims that are actually in that situation. So that will always be an amana. But at the same time, we also need to make sure our congregants are safe. So we will continue supporting Palestine. We will continue supporting the cause of justice, the cause of social justice. And our congregation, they understand that. But at the same time, we will put the necessary protocols in place to make sure that we do not have a situation where it's easy for somebody to bomb the masjid or to cause any harm to the congregants or the masjid.
Ameen. Now, just in closing of our conversation, Pro Ighsaan, what is with this threat currently hanging over the community, how do you plan to move forward? As you mentioned earlier on that you've contacted private security, you've spoke to the Hawks, you've spoke to the police. Do you see this as a setback or an opportunity to double down on your message of solidarity with Palestine?
This is certainly unfortunate, but definitely it is not a setback. We believe it's an opportunity to put to dig in our heels, and we are committed. We are committed to social justice, and we will not back down from the situation despite the threat. If the threat was intended for the Al-Azhar Mosque and its congregants or the community of Cape Town to stop supporting the Palestinians in their dire situation, then I do believe that they will fail miserably. We will utilize this type of threat, as a reminder to ourselves that there will always be individuals or groups that will support an injustice. They will vilify people that will support social justice, and this is one of those instances where our resolve will be stronger to support the Palestinian people. It will be stronger to make sure that justice prevails and that Palestine will eventually be free.
Inshallah, inshallah, and all Muslims, we stand behind that statement to say, inshallah, Palestine will be free. And I believe moving forward, all Muslim brothers and sisters, or all individuals who also believe in the cause of Palestine, will be including, the community of Cape Town in their du'as for their safety as well as well-being and their protection in that sense. But Jazakallah so much, Pro Ighsaan, for coming in tonight and really sharing with us and reliving a very, as you mentioned, a chilling moment with us, as this only does not mean to say you shared information, but you're also spreading awareness to say staying the cause is something that, the enemies do not want, and it's something that they're trying to stop by instigating or inciting fear amongst those who believe that Palestine is, Palestinians are in their rightful land and they deserve to be free and they deserve to be recognized as human. Jazakallah so much for joining us.
Shukran very much to yourself and to the viewers, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers at home, that was a very, awareness and an awakening message from Pro Ighsaan, who was sharing in his experience, not only from himself, but also as a community in terms of what they're going through and how they are still being resilient to whatever threats that they are trying to, inflict or incite on them. But viewers at home, that's it from me for now. Let's head over to a net break. We'll see you just after this.